Coming up.
I saw it in the job centre and I thought, I can do that.
What, the full naked?
And I chose to go Miss Marpley.
What a perfect quote.
It's a very good twisty murder.
I love a twisty murder.
And if they want that, well, I'm their girl.
Very Angela Lansbury, wasn't it?
They don't want that. They do want you to sell it.
Sometimes it goes wild.
I didn't realise I couldn't. That's a real tragedy, isn't it?
How do you say that?
Always go back and ask.
Cheesy read.
Yes, more reviews, please.
Almost as soon as I leapt off the diving board.
Back to my West Midlands roots.
Welcome to so-and-so, and we're brilliant.
I thought, let's have some fun.
And now, enjoy the podcast.
How do you say that?
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 Hello and welcome to How Do You Say That, sponsored by BritishVoiceover.co.uk. Here is Mark Rice, my co-host.
Hello, and that's Sam Boffin, my co-host.
Hello. Every week we ask ourselves and a special guest the question, how do you say that? And we answer it with a very simple idea, reading some scripts out loud.
Yes, because there isn't just one way to read a script. There are lots of different ways. So, Sam, a bit of true or false before we get going. I once sat in the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire hot seat in the studio and got the £500,000 question right. True or false?
Ooh, well, I would say true.
It is true. Sadly, it was only a rehearsal.
Oh,
and they
why
let
were
me
you
from the
doing it?
audience go and sit. I know.
Oh, you were in the audience?
I was in the audience for the rehearsal, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay, so I can walk upside down on my hands. Is that true or false?
Oh. Interesting. You can walk upside down on your hands. Now you're flexible, but no, I don't think you can. I don't think so.
Well, the really sad thing is that I wrote that down earlier today and thought I can do that because I used to be really good. It used to be my party piece to be able to walk on my hands. But I can't now. Let's put it that way.
But you used to be able to.
I used to be able to, but I'm determined to be able to do it again, actually, because I didn't realise I couldn't. That's a real tragedy, isn't it?
So at the moment, it's both true and false.
It's both true and false, but anyway.
Oh, dear. Well, of course, we also have our very special guest, voice actor Deryn Oliver. Hello, Deryn.
Hello, hi,
It's lovely to have you on. Now, you've got a thunderstorm ongoing in Shropshire at the moment, haven't you, during recording?
Yeah, we have. I think it's sort of dying down a little bit now, and the dog has actually been taken out by the husband. Not taken out, sounds awful, been taken out by the husband.
I think we knew what you meant.
Yeah, it's got two meanings, hasn't it?
Right, Sam, let's find out a little bit more about Deryn, shall we?
Yes, so all her life, Deryn Oliver has been complimented on her voice, but it wasn't until 2017, after appearing on the TV quiz show Cash Trapped and having Bradley Walsh and the producer mention that she should be a voice actor, that she decided to give it a go. You can't get better than that, can
It's
you?
a show about quiz shows, isn't it, today?
Absolutely. It is, yeah. So she used some of her winnings to set up her home studio and undertake training, and since then has voiced hundreds of projects, from dry announcements for the United Nations to zany gaming characters, audiobooks, animations, and Voice of God.
Well, her naturally characterful voice tends to appeal to game developers and other entertainment projects, and her biggest role yet has been voicing the toy maker for Thorpe Park Theme Park. She's been the main character in their Halloween Fright Nights event for the last couple of years, scaring the bejesus out of the general public.
That's so cool. That's so
Welcome
cool.
to the podcast, Deryn. All of that is fun fact, but do you have a different fun fact for us as well?
I do have a fun fact for you, yes. I was once a life model.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What, the full naked?
Yep, the full naked.
So did you have a nice kind of rather scrappy dressing gown that you used to waft
To be honest, I had a
around in?
very nice dressing gown. It was
very nice
for
dressing. Nice.
Hereford College, and it was an evening class. And do you know what? It was fine. It's for one thing, it paid well. I saw it in the job centre and I thought, I can do that. The art tutor was such a nice chap. He was a experienced artist. He was a sort of old boy, and he was so kind and so nice to me. I've really felt relaxed and happy. And you know what? It's rather nice, actually, having somebody, paint you.
Yes, I
yeah,
bet.
I mean, obviously some
Absolutely.
people were better than others, but the good ones, it was like, wow, gosh, that looks lovely,
Well, as we wrap our dressing gowns around us now, let's have a look at the first script of our show and ask, how do you say that?
How do you say that?
So, Mark, tell us a little bit about your script.
Well, one day this script dropped into my inbox from a radio station. It is a radio commercial, and it said at the top, 30 seconds.
Oh.
And I looked at it and went, hang on, there's 96 words there. So I did what I do at my desk, and I got my stopwatch out and I tried it, and it is massively overlong.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do, Mark? Because if you can't get it into 30 seconds, I defy many people to get it into 30 seconds.
There's no way it will go into 30.
No.
And, I defy anyone to get it into 30 as well. So I rang the producer and went, well, it says 30 at the top. Oh, my God, well, I'm never going to do it, blah, 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 all of that. And he went, oh, it's fine. Do it at natural pace. If we need to cut a paragraph later, we'll do it.
Ah.
Wow, so they didn't cut it down and say...
No, they didn't cut it down then because they hadn't got final sign-off of the script.
Well, I have to say, when I was a producer, I would have cut it down.
Yes, me too.
I would have got you to do the whole thing, but I would have definitely cut it down before I went in to make it the 30.
But the moral of the story is always go back and ask.
Yeah.
God, yeah, absolutely.
Don't try and kill yourself for it.
No, God, it's only
a commercial, Sam.
It's only a commercial, my God.
But it is true. I've had things like this come through and you sort of think, I can't do it in that. And you try and you just think, this sounds awful. It absolutely, you're quite right. Just ask. It's the thing to do, isn't it? Not worry so much about, oh, God, they said they wanted it in this length of time.
Yeah.
Well, they either want it rubbish or they want it done well. And so, go back to them.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So in terms of direction, it's a peppy read for a building surveying company. There's no character on it. It's a standard radio read, but it's not too fast. It's nice and, gentle.
Just double checking, FCIOB?
FCIOB is that horrid acronym there, yes.
Okay. So it's upbeat then.
Upbeat, yes.
Upbeat. Oh, you see, I would read it as a very kind of, serious kind of thing. But no, they want it more.
I don't think it's that serious, to be fair.
No, they're a bit more, hey.
Let's let Sam have a go first, shall we? Now that there's no time constraint, Sam, so you don't need to worry.
Thank you. All right, then. Before making a property investment, it's essential you know its true condition. Devon Building Surveyors provide comprehensive building survey reports that go far beyond surface inspections. Our reports evaluate structural integrity, services and environmental factors, identifying potential issues and recommending necessary repairs. Whether you're buying, selling or planning renovations, our expertise helps you make informed decisions with confidence. Proudly FCIOB accredited and fully insured, we partner with local town halls and top architects to ensure accuracy and quality in every project. Get in touch through the website devonbuildingsurveyors.com. Devon Building Surveyors, trusted insight, expert guidance.
Really friendly, I would say. Actually, midway through, it sounded like you were just rushing to get to the end.
Oh.
Almost.
That's not too good, is it?
Well, it's also very unlike you, is what I would say.
Well, I probably was rushing to get to the end.
Maybe. It's a bit dry in the middle there, isn't it, to be fair? Deryn, what did you think?
I was supposing in my mind the whole time I was thinking, could you do it in 30 seconds?
See, I wonder if that's what you were thinking, Sam.
No, I definitely wasn't, because I know that even my speedy reads are not as speedy as they could or should be, probably. For, if somebody gives you a true 30-second script, I still have to think doubly hard to get it into 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If they give me a kind of 20-second, 25-second script, then that's okay. I don't mind that. But I know I struggle because I have got a slow voice.
It's a luxury voice.
It is, yeah. I think it is.
It doesn't lend itself well to pep.
No, to speak.
So
no.
I think I always get nervous when I look at something like this and I think, gosh, I need to work doubly hard. So maybe I'm trying to overcompensate.
Maybe.
I actually got one tip, I think it was from Bill DeWeese, that was read it as fast as you possibly can. Even if you're falling over it and it doesn't make sense whatsoever, just read it really, really fast. And that will actually help you get your tongue round all the words so that when you do it, so you can understand what you're actually saying, you will be speedier. But if you do that first, that'll help you kind of with your speed. Yeah.
Absolutely. I find at take 3, it naturally gets faster anyway and fits in. Sometimes.
I think what I was worrying about all the way through, almost as soon as I leapt off the diving board, was that it felt faux.
Okay.
That it felt like a ad read.
Yes.
And right at the beginning, I thought, oh, God, bloody ad read. and I could have, and I was berating myself all the way through for doing some cheesy read. That was probably what I was.
I didn't come across as cheesy, but I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Deryn, let's hear your commercial read on this, shall we?
Okay, this will probably be incredibly cheesy now. Okay.
We'll relish the cheese.
Before making a property investment, it's essential you know its true condition. Devon Building Surveyors provide comprehensive building survey reports that go far beyond surface inspections. Our reports evaluate structural integrity, services and environmental factors, identifying potential issues and recommending necessary repairs. Whether you're buying, selling or planning renovations, our expertise helps you make informed decisions with confidence. Proudly FCIOB accredited and fully insured, we partner with local town halls and top architects to ensure accuracy and quality in every project. Get in touch through the website devonbuildingsurveyors.com. Devon Building Surveyors. Trusted insight, expert guidance.
You see, you sounded like you were one of the building inspectors, building surveyors, and I thought that worked really well.
Totally. That's exactly what I was thinking all the way through. This is a trustworthy top dog in this industry is what I was thinking.
And I believed what you were saying because it was like, oh, yes, I could picture you as that inspector.
Absolutely. You had a real kind of authority, actually. Yeah, amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It.
I must admit, I do sometimes think, oh God, do I sound too like, I don't know, a teacher or somebody telling you how it is? But yeah, in this kind of read.
I was going to say, it works for this sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, sometimes it really works.
What you want is trustworthy and, reliable and all of those things. You want to be able to trust that Devon Building Surveyors will, give you what you need. And absolutely, you did that.
And potentially, Sam, that moves you further away from the standard commercial read anyway, doesn't it? So I think you nailed that bit of what Sam was saying about it.
Oh, lovely.
Deryn,
oh, good.
Yeah. I'm going to probably bring you the cheese of the commercial read.
I can always rely on you to bring me the cheese of the commercial.
I think that's why they send them to me.
Well, the point is that is absolutely what they want. Yeah.
Before making a property investment, it's essential you know its true condition. Devon Building Surveyors provide comprehensive building survey reports that go far beyond surface inspections. Our reports evaluate structural integrity, services and environmental factors, identifying potential issues and recommending necessary repairs. Whether you're buying, selling or planning renovations, our expertise helps you make informed decisions with confidence. Proudly FCIOB accredited and fully insured, we partner with local town halls and top architects to ensure accuracy and quality in every project. Get in touch through the website devonbuildingsurveyors.com. Devon Building Surveyors. Trusted insight, expert guidance.
Oh yes, that does sound. I can hear that on the radio.
Well, I mean, yes, I'm pleased. You did hear it on the radio.
You did. It was what I was expecting, and it was what they wanted. I would imagine.
Actually, what made me think is that I found certainly years ago in voiceover, you're so often told to make it sound like you're just being conversational. And I know there's the whole thing of being the conversational read, but so often it was like, this is what people want. They want it to sound like it's just you being conversational. But of course, a lot of things like this, they don't want that. They do want you to sell it. Like Sam said, that if that's what the client wants, they want the, welcome to so-and-so and we're brilliant. And they want that sort of voice.
Yes, it definitely wasn't a conversational note it wasn't, that I got with this one.
Yeah, but trying to get that sort of, I'm just saying it kind of read is so often something that I've kind of, I don't know whether I'm just, wrong to think that, but I've really tried very hard to try and be far less salesy. But as I say, with something like this, that's exactly what they want.
play, how do you say that? So, Deryn, can you tell us a little bit about the script that you've brought for us today?
Yes, I can. I chose this script because it isn't the typical sort of work I often do. But this was for a local radio station in New York.
Oh.
I don't really know why they particularly wanted me, because, of course, I'm not American. But the moment I saw the script, I thought, well, this sounds American. And I think I did ask them whether they wanted me to do it in a British accent or an American one. Or in fact, did I even do it in both? I might have done it in both. I did it a while ago now. But anyway, so I thought I'd bring it because that's how I felt when I first looked at it. It was like, oh, gosh, this should be American. So they wanted, in the end, I think they went with the American. And I never think my American accent is particularly great. I'm sure any Americans listening to me, if I do this in an American accent, are going to go, oh, crikey. But it's out there on a New York radio station.
I'm amazed.
I'm amazed
that
at
they
that
didn't
too.
choose somebody local.
I know.
The fact that it's in a particular county would even your Gen Am, unless you are particularly good at nailing local American accents, presumably you just did general American, did you?
I did general American. I mean, I suppose because when you look at the script, the fact it mentions about, it's about the village hall and it's supposed to be somebody talking about how they've bought some office furniture from a local, vendor. And so I kind of got in my head immediately thought of little old granny, kind of in the little village shop kind of thing. And so that kind of helped with the voice. I think if they just said, do an American accent and it had been a different script, I would have found it more difficult.
I think it's quite characterful, this script.
Yes, and that is the kind of work I get, to be perfectly honest. I generally get, character stuff.
I think I'm going to move away from American and maybe not do it as me, but have a different accent on it, perhaps, unless you insist you definitely want American for it.
No. I'd be interested to see how else to do it. Yeah,
it didn't scream American to me. Now,
no,
it doesn't. Does it?
No.
I'm sort of thinking, but then you are talking to someone who, until last year, thought Little Women was a British book. So,
fair.
That says a lot about me, really.
Can you give me a man's name instead of Linda, just to change in the script just at this one point?
Let's call you Mackenzie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mackenzie.
Interesting.
That is
interesting.
American.
That is an American name.
I've got Harold.
I'm not going American.
I'm going to force you.
I was kind of thinking Harold as well. Mackenzie it is then. All right, Deryn, let me have a go. Chop, chop, Derby. I'm Mackenzie, village county clerk. Our village hall was built in the 1800s, and honestly, the office furniture seemed like it came with the building. It was due for retirement. Chairs that creaked louder than a town hall debate, desks straight out of the history books, and filing cabinets. I practically needed a crowbar to open them. Then I found out Valley Road Office Furniture is an NYS contract vendor which guarantees the lowest possible price on office furnishings. They had everything we needed and made the whole process easy. Now, instead of wrestling with a filing cabinet, I can focus on keeping this village running smoothly.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Well, the accent was the star, wasn't it?
Wow,
what did you think?
was.
Back to my West Midlands roots.
Well, I have to say, I was not. When you started off, I was thinking, is this Australian?
Right, well, that worked then, didn't it?
But then, no, I soon caught up and thought, oh, yes, yeah, this is, that could work, yeah.
It was front and centre, wasn't it? It was. It sometimes it overtook the meaning, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
the accent was everything. But I have to say, I mean, you were definitely the village county clerk.
The village county something. Village county idiot.
It felt comedic, which is I don't know, is this a comedic piece?
I think it is. That's certainly how I think they wanted it. The fact
how I was reading it.
Yeah, so it did bring out the comedy, which was sweet, actually. Well done, Mark. You committed.
I did commit.
And it wasn't even a wild card, mate.
So who knows what's still to come? Absolutely.
Well, I shall see what I do. I'm Linda, village county clerk. Our village hall was built in the 1800s, and honestly, the office furniture seemed like it came with the building. It was due for retirement. Chairs that creaked louder than a town hall debate. Desks straight out of a history book, and filing cabinets. I practically needed a crowbar to open them. Well, then I found out Valley Road Office Furniture is an NYS contract vendor, which guarantees the lowest possible price on office furnishings. They had everything we needed and made the whole process easy. Now, instead of wrestling with a filing cabinet, I can focus on keeping this village running smoothly.
I really like that. I could just picture this sweet lady, just very happy that they've got this Valley Road office furniture place, and it's all lovely. Yes.
I imagine she's got a rod of steel running through her as she keeps the village running smoothly.
Interestingly, yeah, and I made a choice. I thought, well, either I go absolute steely, busybody, I'm keeping this village and it's all down to me, or I do more Miss Marpley. And I chose to go Miss Marpley.
And do you know what? Because you chose that, I thought that was quite a rounded character from the beginning.
Okay.
I believed it. I believed it. That was unlike mine. I believed it. It was less comedic from that perspective. But it was rounded. I liked that.
I based her on a woman that's actually runs a kind of little church thing down at the end of our road, which I don't go to the church thing, but occasionally she comes out and asks if we can help with her bring and buy.
Oh, Deryn, right. Well, I'm fascinated to hear how the American version worked then.
Okay.
I imagine entirely different to anything we've heard so far, so that'll be exciting.
Okie dokie. Well, as I say, apologies to any real Americans out there who are listening to this thinking, how on earth did they accept that? But anyway, okay, off we go. I'll get into my Linda. I'm Linda, village county clerk. Our village hall was built in the 1800s, and honestly, the office furniture seemed like it came with the building. It was due for retirement. Chairs that creaked louder than a town hall debate. Desks straight out of a history book. And filing cabinets. I practically needed a crowbar to open them. Then I found out Valley Road Office Furniture is an NYS contract vendor, which guarantees the lowest possible price on office furnishings. They had everything we needed and made the whole process easy. Now, instead of wrestling with a filing cabinet, I can focus on keeping this village running smoothly.
I like it.
Ooh, very Angela Lansbury, wasn't it?
Wasn't it just?
Yeah,
and it was warm and friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite little old lady, but certainly it brought the same Miss Marple feel, but from the American perspective.
But American, for definite, yeah.
Certain words I say, I'm sure they don't say it like that, but...
Well, if they bought it.
The only thing I noticed with that was maybe the T's were a bit hard and maybe a K was a bit hard on perhaps.
Harsh.
But no, exactly right. But that's the only thing when I do American, I try and ease all of those off.
I've studied, different American accents and really tried hard. And then I've just kind of gone, you know what? You could try too hard. I think sometimes it's better to just say how you got it in your head, you got it, how you're thinking of it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and they'll tell you. And if it works, great. And that's really what I did with this.
The point was that the character was so engaging that it didn't really matter.
Yes.
Particularly that lovely bit you did with the little list there, the chairs that creak louder, the desk straight out of a history book, and that little giggle before filing cabinets.
Yeah.
All lovely stuff, and it felt so warm and pulled me in as a listener that I don't think that the occasional. Well, I didn't even notice anything, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was lovely. So, really nice.
Well, look, 3 completely different ways of doing the same commercial script there. But now it's time for the wild card. So, Deryn, can you pick one of the scripts, either 1 or 2, for Sam or for me, and give us a new direction or a new character or a new motivation, a new something to do it with?
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Mark, to do the village county clerk script.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you do an American accent, but I'm going to do as a nervous mouse, as if you were a character in an animation or an audio book or something like that, but you're rather nervous.
Okay.
Mackenzie, the village county clerk. Our village hall was built in the 1800s, and honestly, the office furniture seemed like it came with the building. It was due for retirement. Chairs that creaked louder than a town hall debate, desks straight out of a history book, and filing cabinets. I practically needed a crowbar to open them. Then I found out about Valley Office Furniture. It's an NYS contractor, which guarantees the lowest possible price on office furnishings. They had everything we needed and made the whole process easy. Now instead of wrestling with a filing cabinet, I can focus on keeping this village running smoothly.
Wow. You were just like scampering around then.
I know.
A little bit.
That was so cool. I got the impression you were very small in comparison to all the other animals, and that you kind of were up on a little stone, trying to kind of get their attention. But then, to be perfectly honest, they ignored you, and you were just.
Yeah, you certainly sounded nice and nervous. That you definitely sounded like you were not in control of the situation. So.
Oh, you were so sweet. That was quite American, though.
Yeah.
I know it just seemed to fall into it, didn't it? Yeah.
See, it's funny with the scripts, isn't it? Sometimes you just kind of think, this is working. You know, you just hope the client wants it.
Well, yes, absolutely. That's the thing. You've got to try it sometimes, haven't you? Yeah. Okay, Sam, do you want to suggest one for Deryn to do?
I do. Deryn, I would like you to be quite a ballsy zookeeper.
Oh, okay.
And your backstory is you're cleaning out the monkey enclosure. Now, you can enjoy the cleaning out of it, or you can be frankly fed up with the entire process. But you do it quite a lot. And so that's what I want you to be. And I think I'd like you to do... I think I'd like you to do the first script, actually. Okay. And the only reason I'm getting you to do the first script is because you're familiar with the second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just more of a challenge.
Okie dokie. Well, before making a property investment, it's essential you know its true condition. Just get off. Listen, the Devon Building Surveyors provide comprehensive building survey reports that go far beyond service inspections. Their reports evaluate structural integrity. Thanks a lot. Services and environmental factors, identifying potential issues and recommending necessary repairs. Put that down. Okay? Cute. Whether you're not buying anything, are you? Whether you're buying or selling or planning renovations, their expertise helps you make informed decisions with confidence. Get off my foot. Oh, for goodness sake, just get in touch through the website, devonbuildingsurveyors.com. Devon Building Surveyors, they're trusted insight, and get off my foot. Leave me alone. Expert guidance.
Did I, at one point, sense that the monkey had chucked something not very nice at you?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I got the moment that happened.
They were all over you, weren't they?
They were.
Those little monkeys were pulling at your hair. And
exactly.
That was so nice.
And they were climbing up and aiming things. And I thought,
It reminded me of the time that we went to the West Midlands Safari Park and drove through the monkey enclosure, and one of them started pulling at the windscreen wiper, and then another one pooed on our car.
That's nice. That's what they thought of you.
They were all over it.
Exactly. I loved that, Deryn.
Oh,
I thought you did a superb job. You got a lot of movement actually in there, I thought.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, it's a good thing this isn't being videoed. You will see me move. I do move a lot when I'm ever doing voiceover.
All right, Sam, I would like you to think about the opening scene of the Scottish play, if you would, with the three hags all around.
I'm all three hags at the same time.
You can be all three hags at the same time. One of you is called Linda.
Oh my God! Definitely in Macbeth.
No, so, I mean, but to give you the idea, yeah.
Okay, all right then.
I'm Linda, village county clerk. Our village hall was built in the 1800s, and honestly, the office furniture seemed like it came with the building. It which was due for retirement. Chairs that creaked louder than a town hall debate. Desks straight out of a history book and filing cabinets. I practically needed a crowbar to open them. Then I found out Valley Road Office Furniture is an NYS contract vendor which guarantees the lowest possible price on office furnishings. They had everything we needed, and they made the whole process easy now. Instead of wrestling with a filing cabinet, I can focus on keeping this village running smoothly.
Christ, there was some evil there. Jeez. I wasn't expecting that. I did really enjoy the practically needed a crowbar to open them because you were laughing it away, and then you went really evil for the next paragraph.
Well, exactly. I thought the same thing. I was thinking, gosh, if I'd done it that way, they'd have been, oh my God, terrify everybody. That was really good. I have to say, I love being a witch, and that was an excellent witch. I really enjoyed that.
Interestingly, quite a stereotypical witch,
Yes.
but I thought I'd lean into that aspect of it because often when people want to be a witch, you're like that. I mean, if you're really doing it in Macbeth, you'd find some other crazy way of doing it that wasn't as stereotypically witch-like. But I thought, let's have some fun.
Well, as always, we've put the scripts in the show notes, so whether it's a witch or a mouse, you can have a try yourself.
So, Deryn, I was fascinated when I had a little look at your website because you've worked across a hugely wide range of different genres in, well, a relatively short period of time. You've been doing it for a fair amount of years. And have you got an acting background, Deryn? Did you study acting? Or?
I didn't study acting. I've done a lot of amateur acting. I've done amateur acting
okay.
since I was a teenager.
Oh, so you used to getting into character.
I'm used to getting into character, and I love that. And so that is why I like doing that particular sort of genre is characters, and so quite often I am asked to be witches, to be honest.
Yeah. It's interesting. Your voice, your natural voice, has got a lot of character in it.
Yes, it does. It does.
Yes,
It's a really interesting natural voice. That's intriguing.
It is another thing talking about leaning into what you are and what you genuinely are. Is that when I first started, I really tried terribly hard not to be quite so sing-song. My voice is very up and down. And I know that was a comment on my voice sort of in the early days of could be a bit sing-song. And I was terribly like, oh gosh, I mustn't speak like that. But then as time's gone on, I have got work for being the way I am far more comfortable with my voice and the way it is, and just think, right, well, this is the way I sound, and lean into it.
And sometimes you've just got to, haven't you? Exactly.
That's what I do. And so I do audiobooks as well, which of course is great for doing character voices and storytelling, which I love doing.
Yeah.
All about storytelling in the end, isn't it, Sam?
It is, and I think you're right. I think that, if you can lean in, if you understand what you uniquely bring, and particularly for, somebody that has got I wouldn't say, it's not overly quirky or anything, it's not mad or anything like that, your voice, but it's got a beautiful lilt and, characterful nature to it. I can sort of see why it's such a good idea for you to lean into that as an idea.
So, especially when you first get into doing voiceover, you get so much information coming in. Like I was saying earlier about, thinking, oh, it must be conversational and it must sound like this and it ought to sound like that. And you got all this info and you really can get quite sort of lost in it, I think.
Yep.
And it is only, I would say, in the last few years that I can be far more confident in what I am and who I am and how I sound, rather than, as I say, worrying about you should say it exactly like this and that sort of thing. I just trust myself a bit more. But it is the crux of it, I somehow feel.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, Deryn, thank you so much. That's a fascinating little discussion at the end of the show. That all of Deryn Oliver's details can be found in the show notes. I hope you've enjoyed coming along and doing it with us.
I have. It's been really, really fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you so much.
Of course, the scripts are in the show notes.
They are.
And do hit the follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, more reviews, please. That's it for this week. Thanks again to Deryn Oliver. And we'll be back next week with more scripts and another voiceover guest when we'll be asking, How do you say that?
How do you say that?